Thank you for attending the Cannabis Investor Webcast. We would like to thank our sponsors, Pazoo Incorporated, symbol is PZOO, MyDX Incorporated, MYDX, CLS Holdings USA Incorporated, symbol CLSH, American Next Corporation, and Technical420.com. And we would also like to thank our platinum sponsor, Naturally Splendid Enterprises Ltd, stock symbol NSPDF. And we also want to give another shout out or thank you to Naturally Splendid. Naturally Splendid has supported the Cannabis Investor Webcast all this year. They present every month. And also they're the platinum sponsor for the Cannabis Publicly Traded Companies Institutional Investor Conference in Atlanta, May 23rd through May 25th, 2016. So we really appreciate Naturally Splendid. Our presenter today is Craig Goodwin, CEO of Naturally Splendid Enterprises Ltd. Craig and Brent, give me a couple of seconds. I will make you a presenter and turn the screen over to you.
Good morning, and thank you very much, Derwin, for the opportunity to present to your listeners again. We always welcome the opportunity and find great value in it. So once again, thank you very much. Today we would like to review the entire Naturally Splendid opportunity. And then at the end of the presentation, we will be talking about 4 or 5 individual subjects that have been coming up often. And the subjects that we'll touch on at the end is the Laguna blends contract that we have. We will be providing an update on our hemp omega. There was some very interesting news in regards to a technology transfer that greatly enhances our ability in the omega markets. I've asked our brand manager, Andy Birchall, to join us for a review of our Positive Effects line, which is a natural pet care line. And then I will also be addressing the developing pet food opportunity, and I'll address that at the very end. And then we'll be open for a question and answer period. So with that, I'll start with our presentation. So as many of you know, we are located in Vancouver, British Columbia, with U.S. operations centered in Denver, Colorado. We've been public since March of 2013, and we are on multiple exchanges to maximize the investor opportunity. Obviously, the TSX Venture, OTCQB, and the Frankfurt Exchange. We've had a number of milestones achieved between March and now in regards to establishing and acquiring technologies, putting the right personnel in place with a very experienced board of directors, and having that augmented by a world-class advisory board. We proceed all the way down to June of 2015, which was an incredibly important move for Naturally Splendid when we acquired 51% of the POS facility located in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. But we'll touch on details of these milestones as we move through the next slides. So our primary purpose, as many of you will recall, is that Naturally Splendid is positioned to capitalize on the booming health and wellness markets. And we do that through development and commercialization of market-disruptive plant-based products and technologies. And where our strengths lie is in bioactive plant-based ingredients. The acquisition of the facility in Saskatoon allows us to take the best of what nature has and enhance that through very high-end extraction and formulation techniques. Our core offerings right now in our biotech division is the Omega Nutrition. We have come a long ways with our hemp omega. The initial versions are very well suited for the pet market application. We are now into more advanced studies and research and development. We have initiated a $250,000 research and development program with POS Biosciences, and we continue to meet new milestones. and reach new goals, which is creating multiple opportunities for these omega technologies. Our cannabinoid nutraceutical division, the regulatory environment, as most of you will know, it continues to evolve not only in North America but globally. And in that regards, we are still looking for opportunities to create our own manufacturing facility. But in the interim, we've secured an excellent supply of CBD material from Switzerland, which we have now been approved for sales in the United States. On the retail side, the Natera brand continues to make inroads in Canada. We will be presenting at the largest natural health food show in Canada, September 19th through 21st. That's in Toronto, the Canadian Health Food Association. We will be a feature presenter with our lead distributor, Planet Foods. Positive Effects came back from a trade show in Las Vegas, Super Zoo, and I'll update that, the progress that we made at that show at the very end following Andy Burchell's presentation with Positive Effects. I'm going to just keep sorry, that's it. So I want to talk a little bit about how we've become vertically integrated. Naturally Splendid, being the parent company, looks after the distribution of all our brands and all our products. But we do have functional food brands intended for the human market. And now we have found that much of our science and technology is transferable to the pet market, which is why we initiated Positive Effects. The trade show in Vegas was an eye-opener. We knew it was a $60 billion annual opportunity going into it, but seeing it live in first hands was truly invigorating. And we came out of that show with multiple opportunities. The development of our technologies that we take to these markets was through a company, as many of you will recall, Full Spectrum Laboratories. We licensed a number of their technologies in the cannabinoid extraction and formulation area. The most notable technology, the water-soluble cannabinoids. It is showing incredible opportunity. But most recently, we have actually, through a technology transfer, which I'll go into more detail, we have now assumed ownership of all the omega technology that Full Spectrum has created. And rather than an exclusive worldwide license, we now own that technology, which is an incredibly dynamic move for Naturally Splendid. To enhance our vertical integration, we've secured Canadian processing capacity. That's the acquisition of BPC in Saskatoon. And we also have become an exclusive distributor for Medro Farm in the United States for their hemp powder, which is intended for a food use. There are multiple applications, but it is rich in CBD, and we are beginning to make inroads into sales of CBD into the United States. So the organizational chart, we have secured bulk input. Our wholesale company looks after private label opportunities like the Laguna exclusive distributorship arrangement we made, where we created 4 unique blends for them. Our retail lines we've touched on with Natera and Positive Effects. But that highlighted section in the middle, the biotech opportunity, is where the explosive growth is likely to occur. And it is based in and around our omega ingredients. The omega market continues to flourish. The marine-based omega products are challenged meeting the growing demand for it. And we believe our plant-based omega inputs are an answer to an overstressed industry that has severe environmental concerns when it comes to marine-based omegas. Those products are now, as we've talked about, expanding into the pet opportunity, and we are now making inroads into livestock. We are looking at global opportunities where hemp is already approved as a feedstock. We're going through a number of processes in Canada where we will then have hemp approved as an ingredient in feedstock applications. I'll touch briefly on our Naturally Splendid USA. Through an exclusive licensing agreement, as I've mentioned, we are making inroads in our cannabinoid sales, and we are continuing to evaluate the evolving opportunity in the state of Colorado as far as industrial hemp processing. The state of Colorado planted for the first time in 50 years an industrial hemp crop. It was met with a range of success, as not unlike most agricultural crops. We've seen some extremely successful crops come off. There were some that were failed, unfortunately, but the vast majority appear that the growing conditions in Colorado continue to evolve, where it's of high interest to us to be able to build a facility there as the regulatory environment continues to evolve. And so our division, so we can understand how the vertical integration fits with our divisions. POS PPC is our processing capacity. That also helps supply our bulk ingredients through BCI, which is British Columbia Ingredients. The next section over it would represent our retail brands, and then once again our U.S. distribution of cannabinoid and our future plant expansion. And by that I mean our manufacturing plant for hemp processing in the United States, likely to be Colorado. But once again, we are continuing to evaluate the regulatory environment, not only with cannabinoids, but industrial hemp and the growing protocols in the United States. So I want to touch once again as we begin to think about a few slides back, the one that was highlighted in the middle. We're talking about omega extraction and formulation, but there's also numerous plant-based ingredients that have high commercial appeal. And that ranges from ginseng and moringa and broccoli extracts. We are able to take, as I mentioned before, the best of what nature has to offer and create new forms of it, much as we did with hemp oil, which the commercialization can be challenging to use. We took that product and turned it into a highly bioavailable, water-soluble powder that now creates multiple revenue opportunities. We're doing the same thing with the list of products that you see, whether it be hemp seed and protein, the ginseng, moringa, baobab, and broccoli. We continue to evaluate additional plant-based ingredients, and all of this will be processed at the facility in Saskatoon. So as we talk about the POS PPC manufacturing, where we're looking at these ingredients, as many of you will recall, Naturally Splendid bought 51% of this facility. We call it a toll processing opportunity. We are looking for global clients, in addition to Naturally Splendid, who are interested in doing plant-based extraction and formulation. This is an incredibly robust market. We're seeing new products and new technologies brought to market, and we believe BPC is positioned very strategically to look at new clients who operate as a toll processing facility. It's 12,000 square feet of manufacturing facility. I believe there's another 2,000 plus of office and support staff area. We do aqueous and alcohol extraction, which is very rare. You have to have high certifications to be able to operate in this area. We do separation, concentration, and drying. We're able to do hundreds of metric tons for clients now. It truly puts us on the global map for clients who are interested in toll processing. And of course, we have our own quality assurance laboratory associated with the facility. So POS BPC was the sister company, and I guess still is the sister company of POS Biosciences. And POS Biosciences, when it was first created 35 plus years ago, POS stands for protein, oil, starch, and they are recognized global leaders in this industry, having created arguably $60+ billion of either technology or market-ready products over the last 30 plus years. It's a 54,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility. We have analytics, research and development. There's pilot plants where we do testing of new products and technologies, 11 laboratories, and obviously the supporting warehouse and shipping. In short, folks, it is a world-class facility that we have access to. In fact, preferred access. Naturally Splendid is the exclusive company inside of POS Biosciences in the world of hemp research and development. So if anything that is being done with hemp At POS Biosciences, it includes Naturally Splendid. So now let me touch on our opportunity that's evolving in the United States with our strategic partner, MedroPharm. And there have been challenges with CBD oils and the reliability and the consistency of products coming into the United States primarily. I'm very pleased to see that many companies continue to evolve and the quality of products coming to market continue to improve. And where that might sound contradictory, that I like to see that, what it does is creates more legitimacy for the entire CBD opportunity in the United States. It's my belief that the more the regulatory environment evolves to enforce high quality, efficacious products, the more it will be accepted by the general public. And Naturally Splendid welcomes the competition when it comes to comparing high quality products. Our products manufactured in Switzerland are at a highly accredited facility. We've got legal opinions in all 3 countries, out of Switzerland, the United States, and Canada, that we are operating above board with full transparency. If we're not the first, we're one of the first companies on the Toronto Stock Exchange to be approved to operate with full transparency and the support of the TSX venture in marketing and commercializing CBD products in the United States. Our exclusive technologies, so as we talk about the opportunity expanding, we have market disruptive extraction and formulation technologies. And primarily that wraps around plant-based omegas. And this is where I want to touch base a little bit on the technology transfer. When we assumed the technologies from Full Spectrum Labs, there was a range of technologies. Some were market ready or very near. There were midterm goals, and there were longer-term conceptual projects and licenses within the suite of technologies that we assumed. And one of those technologies was a product that is conceptual in nature still, a bioactive or a bioreactor creating synthetic cannabinoids. And that is a project that we think has merit, but it really is a project that's 3 to 5 years out. So Naturally Splendid approached Full Spectrum Labs, and given the regulatory environment around cannabinoids, it was difficult, if not impossible, for Naturally Splendid to continue work with such a advanced conceptual opportunity as the bioreactor. So rather than park that and have it stagnant within our portfolio of technologies, we approached Full Spectrum Labs and suggested the following: that Naturally Splendid were experts in bioactive plant ingredient extraction and formulation, that we had in fact secured processing capacity, and that the Omega technologies would be better embedded completely into Naturally Splendid and allowed Full Spectrum Labs to pursue where their strengths are, and that's in developing conceptual technologies and opportunities. So in the exchange of technology, Naturally Splendid ended up with market-ready product in the world of omegas, and incredibly important to our shareholders, we were able to eliminate from our balance sheet over $16 million of deferred liability in the ways of guaranteed royalty payments to Full Spectrum Labs surrounding the Omega technology. So not only did we receive ownership of the Omega technology, that in fact eliminated guaranteed minimum royalty payments that would have started in 2017. It's freed up literally $16 million for Naturally Splendid to pursue and direct towards other opportunities. We've talked about our water-soluble Omega powders. We, in past discussions, have talked about Naturally Splendid having exclusive access to a number of cannabinoid technologies. We have access to a water-soluble cannabinoid patent. In fact, the world's first water-soluble cannabinoid patent. Naturally Splendid has access through Full Spectrum Labs. We continue to look at additional bioactive plant-based ingredients, and as to close the entire loop, all of these technologies were licensed from Full Spectrum Laboratories. Excuse me. So I'm going to drill down into a little more detail and talk about the Omega technology. It's the one that's of most interest to Naturally Splendid because that there is not the regulatory challenges surrounding CBDs. We are fully supportive that environment and that opportunity is evolving. In fact, it's evolving at an incredibly rapid pace. So we believe cannabinoid products will continue to get out of that gray area and becoming more mainstream. And while that natural evolution occurs, we are able to focus on our Omega technology and products that do not have the same regulatory challenges. And this is why, as discussed just a couple of minutes ago, that we wanted to embed the ownership of Omega Technologies into Naturally Splendid. Excuse me, folks. Not only can we do extraction and formulation with hemp, but as you can see, we can use flax, canola, chia, and very interesting to us right now is algae. These products are intended for human, for pet, for feedstock, and a wide variety of animal applications. This enables us to bring new Omega technologies and products to market that have never been before been able to be brought to market because of the water solubility and the fact that the powder is mixing well in dried and liquid applications. This is a $35 billion opportunity that, as successful as it has been limited because most Omega nutrition has been taken through capsule form. And we believe that adding Omega nutrition to any number of 75,000 standard products that you would see in any grocery store, if we can begin to add our technology and our Omega ingredients to a fraction of those products, we have a very lucrative opportunity on hand. Now, going back to our cannabinoid opportunity in the United States, we have exclusive global technology and rights to CBD extraction and formulation. We have access to the world's first water-soluble CBD patent, and these breakthrough technologies facilitate really major advances in the production of CBD-based medicines and supplements. It's my opinion that the market will continue to evolve positively the more companies like ourselves and other companies out there continue to raise the bar and to bring medicine that can be measured, that's efficacious and consistent and reliable in dosage, where physicians can recommend and prescribe medicines for specific ailments. And to be able to do that, you need to have advanced science. And we believe the water-soluble cannabinoid technologies is the leading edge to being able to provide reliable medicinal products in the area of CBDs. Our bioavailable ingredients and bulk sales, we touched on in a couple of slides earlier, but there are global sales opportunities. We continue to pursue opportunities throughout Asia. It's not crossing a regulatory line to say that there have been numerous discussions with multiple countries where there are distributors who are looking at bringing in nutritional products. Agricultural products grown in Canada have great global appeal and none stronger than in Asia, where we are getting great market pull. We will advise, obviously, our shareholders and interested prospective shareholders as these opportunities become more concrete. But these market and the market for hemp-derived ingredients include the food and beverage categories, sports nutrition, pet market that we've touched on, livestock, and cosmetics. As we've said, there's multiple opportunity for a variety of our bioactive plant-based ingredients. So the market opportunity, we've talked a lot about technologies and we've talked a lot about processing capacity, and all that's very nice, but what is the size of the market? What is the size of the opportunity out there? And the global functional food market, I think many of you heard me say, is a $240 billion market space. And our Natera line and our plant-based bioactive ingredients fit this category amazingly. The Omega food market is $34 billion. It continues to increase at double-digit rates. The stress that it's putting on our oceans and the environmental long-term negative impact of continuing to source Omega nutrition from the oceans, we're getting to the point of no return. And environmental concerns are driving new opportunities to Naturally Splendid in this area. The legal cannabis market in the United States is $10 billion. That is only going to continue to grow. I think most of our listeners are listening because they are supportive or acknowledge the opportunity in this area. And we use Colorado as a model. In 2014, the sales in cannabis-related activity was $500 million. Our early understanding is that it'll exceed $1 billion in 2015. It's a population base of 5 million people in Colorado. It doesn't take too many pushes of the calculator to figure out what the opportunity could be nationally in the United States alone, never mind globally. There's comparables out there that Naturally Splendid looks a lot like a number of other companies. Burcon, which is also a Vancouver-based company, is a protein extraction and formulation company. They started off in soy, and they've created a number of innovative technologies. They have a significant market cap, and they continue are looking for products, really commercial viability for some of their technologies, but it's still a $100 million plus market cap. So Burcon has protein extraction, so does Naturally Splendid. Neptune Technologies is a leader in krill, so that's a marine-based omega. They have about 10 times their sales for their market cap. They usually vary between $175 and $200 million in their omega products and technology. Naturally Splendid has disruptive omega technology, and we believe as our products begin to be more commercialized and the opportunity continues to grow, that Neptune is a good comparable as well. The investing public obviously supports Omega Nutrition in the way of the market cap of Neptune Technologies. Vega, another Vancouver-based company, is a bioactive plant-based formulation company. They have a number of products in the market. They were very successful growing from Vancouver. They were recently purchased by I believe it was a NASDAQ company for $550 million US. So once again, Naturally Splendid has bioactive plant-based ingredients. Cannabis, which has been a leader for years in the United States, in the world of cannabinoids, including CBD products, has a significant market cap as well, nearing $100 million US. So once again, we have cannabinoid extraction. These are comparables that I've offered each one of these very interesting companies, but collectively rolled into one, we think create a very attractive investment opportunity. Annie's Organics is of a company that was purchased early 2014, I believe, by General Mills. I believe their gross sales were under 75 million. I believe their profit was around 12, yet General Mills paid $820 million US for it. So healthy, natural, nutritious products. The Natera line fits that model perfectly. Manitoba Harvest, which is got the head start on us, quite frankly, in 1998. Naturally Splendid came on a decade or more later, but Manitoba Harvest was recently purchased by a U.S.-based public company on $6 million in profit, I believe it was. Their sales are significant in Canada. They're definitely the #1 player right now. Naturally Splendid, through their Natera brand, would very much like to enter that competitive but lucrative market. They were purchased for over $130 million recently. I offer these comparables as examples of divisions and opportunities within Naturally Splendid that all these companies have merit. But if we wrap them into one opportunity, as I described earlier, I believe you have a very compelling investment story to be told. And we're always excited when we have the opportunity to describe what we have to offer shareholders. The leadership team, the two founders, myself and Brian Carson, are supported by an incredibly successful team of directors. Chuck Jenkins, as many of you will have heard from past podcasts, has worked for public companies for a number of years. He was also on the regulatory side. David Race is a former senior executive with global pharmaceutical companies, including Novartis and Pfizer. He heads up our U.S. operations. And actually, we've asked David, while the environment continues to evolve in the United States for cannabinoids, we've asked David to focus his energies on the POS PPC facility to help us maximize the opportunity on the facility we recently purchased. Charlie Brink was one of the original founders of Monavie. That was a functional beverage that in the first 3 years of operation accumulated $1 billion in sales. And year 4, they had about $980 million. So almost $2 billion in sales in 4 years. As it turns out, David Race was Charlie's COO. So Charlie Brink, visionary. David Race, COO, built 12 distribution centers. So when we talk about massive explosive growth within Naturally Splendid, we have the team to support and basically execute the strategies of an explosive growth opportunity. Peter Hughes has been involved in public companies for well over a decade. He is currently a director with Kelso. It's a company that started at 10 cents on the Toronto Venture Exchange. It is an industrial company. I believe they hit a high of $7. Revenues of about $25 million, if memory serves me correct. Peter's business skills and acumen are put to use within Naturally Splendid to build very real revenue models and execution opportunities that will create that same revenue flow that he was successful with at Kelso. So once again, we've had people who've been to the rodeo before, and now it's a matter of execution. Russ Crawford is actually the current president of the Canadian Hemp Trade Alliance. So once again, a wide and diverse team of experts that support the founders of the company and work very hard for the shareholders of Naturally Splendid. I want to talk to you about our advisors very quickly. And how am I doing for time? Okay, about half an hour left. Thank you, guys. So Ted McKechnie is a former president of Maple Leaf Foods. Doug Mason, many of you will remember as the founder of Clearly Canadian, and also another phenomenon, maybe the first energy drink to market, a product called Jolt Cola. So Doug was the visionary and the founder of those two companies. Dave Edo is the current CEO of the BC Dairy Association, lent us incredible insight into opportunities within the dairy industry for our Omega products. Wood is the former CEO of Arrowhead Water. Obviously, we're looking at using our formulations, technologies, ingredients to enhance water lines out there. We remember vitamin water being bought for over $1 billion by Coca-Cola. We think that additional enhanced water products have great market appeal, and we've asked Dawn to head up that area. Rick Green is a PhD who works for POS Biosciences. We put him on our advisory board to act obviously as our technical expert in developing technologies and opportunities within the Omega space. Dr. Green has been with POS Biosciences for over 20 years. He's their lead research and development scientist, and he's absolutely instrumental in us creating new technologies directed to opportunities that have been brought to us. Peter Howes is a former VP with the Jim Pattison Group. Obviously a very competitive environment where Mr. Howes excelled and moved up to the position of VP. Our latest addition to the advisory board is Mitch Berger. He's a Canadian, but he played in the NFL for a number of years, including with the Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers in 2009. Mitch has been involved with our functional beverage development team, and he is providing real-life input into what athletes, both as they are beginning to reach the peak of performance, as well as athletes who are retiring or sort of maybe even toning down their activities. There is an opportunity to provide high-end products for a wide range of athletes, both right at the very top level of professional athletes to the weekend warriors. And there's nothing better to have somebody who's been there before like Mitch. Mitch is a TV personality, so we get great exposure on programs like TSN and radio programs across Canada and reaching into the United States. We've seen our share price. We did hit, obviously, a much higher price in a robust market exceeding $1. Market conditions, not only for Naturally Splendid, but for many of us out there, have been challenging the last 3 to 4 months. Our average volume continues to be healthy. You saw the 52-week range where we exceeded $1. Our shares are issued and outstanding are up to 55 million through a number of financings that we did. Fully diluted, it's still a manageable 61 million, but with a market cap of $13 million, we are very confident that that market cap, when we were at $1, was more like 50 million. So we believe that we're looking at an undervalued market cap right now. The competitive advantages for Naturally Splendid: we have established relationships, so we formed strategic alliances with our suppliers, formulators, and manufacturers. We have competitive cost advantages now that we've assumed processing capacity in Saskatoon, as well as exclusive distributorships for products out of Switzerland in the world of CBD, and we have sustainable practices. So our plant-based bioactive ingredients are environmentally friendly, and they're renewable, and they're measurable, so we know exactly what our harvest will be, relatively exactly, year in, year out, which helps financial modeling. So NSP has a wise investment. We have patented disruptive technologies in the omega sector. It's a $35 billion opportunity. We have the world's first patent-pending water-soluble technology for the extraction of CBDs. We enhance that with further multiple exciting cannabinoid extraction formulations and technologies. We went through our directors and our advisory board, and I think they're truly world-class. I welcome people to look into the backgrounds of our people. They are very successful businessmen, and we still have great share structure. People who are attracting insiders will see that there's very little, if any, selling from insiders. We are focused and committed to Naturally Splendid. This is our source. I don't have a number of public companies. Naturally Splendid is the one and only, and gets 110% of my attention. The conclusion: we believe we're ideally positioned to capitalize on the recently acquired patented formulation technologies, including the transfer of omega technology for the ownership of Naturally Splendid, and with key acquisitions such as POS PPC, the establishment of strategic partnerships, and the addition of food and beverage industry leaders, or two of the advisory board, the future has never looked brighter for Naturally Splendid. And I offer evidence of that in a couple of areas, and we've touched on them. And the last few subjects I'm going to touch on after this, I do want to touch on the Laguna blends. There has been some confusion surrounding that, so I'll provide clarity in a second. I'll provide a very quick update on the growing interest for our hemp omega products. We touched on the technology transfer, but I'm going to introduce brand manager Andy Birchall for the Positive FX line. It's a second PowerPoint presentation. I just want our shareholders to see that Naturally Splendid is taking these technologies and these bioactive plant ingredients and putting them to use and launching lines. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Andy Birchall, brand manager, who will go through a quick presentation in regards to Positive Effects as an example of the retail lines that we're bringing.
So we are an all-natural range of skincare solutions aimed at the pet industry, primarily formulated for dogs. We have 3 products on the market at the moment. We have Happy Snacks, which is a moisturizing balm for the dog's noses, a similar product for the paws called Happy Paws, and a protective wax for the paws. I'll just quickly go through what the products are now. So you can see the ingredients there for Happy Snacks, all very high-grade, human-grade natural ingredients. A lot of these ingredients that you'll see consistent through all 3 products are used outside of these products independently in other areas outside of Naturally Splendid and Positive Effects range, elsewhere for treatment of things like psoriasis and eczema and that sort of thing. So that's fairly common for them to be used for treatment of those sort of skin conditions already. Vitamin E, hemp seed oil obviously is very good for treating skin conditions and so on. So these aren't just cosmetic sort of basic lip balm and that sort of thing for dogs. These are solid treatments for skin conditions and to help dogs with dry skin and hard-wearing dogs that are out in walking lots on dry conditions and so on. So Happy Snouts there, you can see it describes a little bit about what it does: moisturize, soothe, heals. It's for dogs with dry noses, broken skin, generally dry skin conditions. Dog groomers are very keen on taking this product at the moment because of the benefits for, if nothing else, the appearance of the nose, but also the general skin condition of the nose as well, as the dogs look and behave and feel a bit healthier. Happy Paws, again, a great set of natural ingredients there. Some overlap in terms of ingredients, but it's formulated slightly differently just because the paws are a little bit more hard wearing. But similar sorts of ingredients there, a lot of vitamin E and so on in the product. And again, it does a similar sort of job for the paws as the Happy Snouts does. We've got the Strong Paws, which is a different type of product. This is a protective wax. So this has more hard-wearing ingredients like cannabis wax and a bit more beeswax in there. But it also has virgin coconut oil and sunflower oil, which helps treat skin conditions. So this is one of the areas where we have a competitive advantage over some of our main competitors in this space. Some of our main competitors in the protective wax space don't have the ingredients that actually help treat the animal's skin at the same time. So we have a product here that not only treats the skin, but it soaks in, so you don't have to wash it off. It's a much more convenient application, and it's very effective. We have people who own dogs and live in hot climates that are swearing by using this product to help protect their dog's paws against hot pavements. We also have guys up in the far north who run sled dogs that are using this product to protect the paws on their sled dogs. So it's a very effective product. It's doing very well for us. So again, there you can see it's used in dry, dusty conditions, ice, snow, salt, any sort of harsh environments. We currently do it in two sizes. We've got a 2-ounce tin and a 0.15, I guess you could call it a chapstick or a lip balm type applicator, just to make it a little easier to apply. You can put in pockets, handbags, purses, whatever. That sits in an 18-pack countertop display box that goes on the countertop next to a cash register in a pet store, for example. It's got a lower price point. It's a bit more of an introductory product. We are developing a mid-sized product between these two, probably a 0.5 ounce and a similar sort of applicator to the one that's shown here. So again, that'll be a slightly larger product, higher price points, but also another easy application. These products, the reason we're doing different sizes is because we're listening to our customers and they are asking for it. So we've been told that these are going to be popular. It's a consistent question throughout the industry when we go to trade shows. So we're listening to them and developing products to match those requirements. We have several testimonials here. I'll just quickly glance over these. There's some on our Amazon page, and we're receiving emails from existing customers also talking about existing concerns they've had with their dogs and their use of our products and how it's helped their animals. So we know from first-hand results the effectiveness of what we're putting on the market right now. So we're very proud of that. Again, some photographs of some of the dogs that have actually used the product, and you can see it's probably clear on the dog down the right-hand side there, the difference in the nose before and after, so we know it's highly effective. And that's actually come from a customer that's made a point of ordering more products for exactly that reason. So we're getting repeated sales out of confidence in the product. Again, some of the dogs that are using it, these are customers who are happy to send pictures of their dogs to us to vouch as testimonials. We're also doing a giving back policy where we put a proportion of the sales from each product to charity. So 0.25 cents from every one of the 2-ounce tins goes to charity, and 10 cents from every tube sold also goes to charity. On the charity side of things, we are flagship sponsor for a large BC SPCA event in Stanley Park, Vancouver this weekend, on Sunday this weekend. It's called Pause for a Cause. It's an event aimed at raising money to fight animal cruelty. We're one of the main sponsors there, so we were recently down on one of the main streets in Vancouver with the CTV news crew doing a bit of a stint on television for that event as well. We've got a booth there, we're giving away product samples, a lot of social media exposure, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much the highlight of what we're doing currently. There's a lot of scope in the future in terms of not only leveraging some of the Natural Splendid technologies, but also where we can take the range. We've got 4 other products in active development at the moment for release soon as well. So there's lots and lots of opportunities, and I'm going to hand you back to Craig now, who's going to finish off the presentation. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Andy. I wanted to take that opportunity to show you the retail development and how we're actually implementing our technologies and driving products through the retail market. So that gives you an idea of our standard, let's call it introductory line. There is no reason why we won't continue to develop additional products, basically using hemp omega or other plant-based ingredients inside of our own formulations. So it becomes a double-edged sword. Not only are we creating highly competitive retail lines, but we're using our own ingredients and technologies as differentiators in those products. So once again, acquiring technologies, securing processing, developing products for a retail line, but that also expands into opportunities of private labeling. Coming back from Super Zoo in Las Vegas, there are many large retail stores who have come to us who are interested in private labeling our formulations. We are considering a number of those opportunities now, as well as are reviewing distributor presentations on a variety of distributors who have come to Naturally Splendid interested in carrying their line. So much like the same model we built for Natera, in Canada, where we hire distributors who have 10, 12, 15 years experience in this market, we begin to push out our pet products in an opportunity in Canada. It's an almost $7 billion annual opportunity, the pet market, and as stated earlier, in the United States, we like the pet space because it's about a $60 billion a year opportunity. So those are the types of products that we're launching on the pet side. People will recall, and have probably seen a recent news release, carrying along the pet side of a pet food, specifically dogs project that we had embarked on. The first step of that was to infuse hemp omega into a line of dog food. I'm pleased to report that the nutritional profiles have come back and they are significant. We are excited with the opportunity of providing omega nutrition, which has the same benefits for animals as it does for humans. Our next step now is we are producing a run of thousands of pounds of pet food, and it will be fed to dogs in a controlled study. We will then do our analysis on the omega uptake of our technology. We are optimistic that the results will be similar to what we saw from the BC Cancer Research Agency, where bioavailability and sustainability in the system was increased dramatically. We saw incredible results with a study out of the University of Manitoba with poultry, where the uptake of omegas in poultry products, whether it be the eggs or meat of the poultry, was significant to say the least. We believe that the same uptake of our omega technology, our omega products, using our technology, will be as beneficial to canines as it has been in our other studies. It creates a massive opportunity. There's positive effects we want to launch yet another natural dog food product out there, or would we want to penetrate the market by approaching the top 2 or 3 or 4 pet food manufacturing companies out there and offering our technology under a licensing agreement in a much broader market coverage in a much quicker period. So those are some of the overall strategies that we are working with Naturally Splendid. It's likely you will see a hybrid of those opportunities. So that sort of wraps up the pet opportunity. We've launched product. We are looking at distributors. We have additional products coming online. And as importantly as anything, we're able to use our own science and technology and our ingredients to enhance these products. And I just want to I'll wrap this up with Laguna, and then that leaves about 5 minutes for questions. On the Laguna Blends opportunity, they're a multi-level marketing company that is launching in November. They placed an initial PO with us for $100,000. I'm pleased to report we received the deposit of $50,000, and we plan on going to the manufacturing for them in probably mid to late October in anticipation of their launch. The exclusive arrangement that Laguna has for Naturally Splendid is not for all our Omega technology, nor is it for an exclusive for hemp Omega. What we did for Laguna was customize 4 protein blends enhanced with our hemp Omega, creating 4 unique products for Laguna. For that, they do have an exclusive in the world of multi-level marketing. And what that has done for Naturally Splendid, it has driven additional business opportunities to the company, because there's other companies like Laguna, whether they're MLM or private in retail, traditional markets, other distributor models. They've come to us and asked us to formulate custom products for them, whether it be cosmeceutical, nutraceutical, human application, pet application, or feedstock. We are entertaining multiple inquiries in numerous product categories for our implementing our unique technologies and ingredients in a wide range of products. So Laguna was our first client that we signed up. We're working very hard to add to that roster of clients. Of course, we expect positive conclusions. It won't be from all, but many of these inquiries, and we will continue to expand our global reach by partnering with strong, established companies that have already established themselves with strong sales, whether it be regionally or globally. That wraps up my end of the presentation, Derwin. If there's any questions, once again, I would like to thank you for the platform to be able to talk about Naturally Splendid. We always appreciate the audience that you gather for us. And at this time, if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to address them.
Yes, Craig, we do have a lot of questions. We probably won't get to many of those questions, but what we can do is I can send the questions to Brent, and you guys could kind of answer the questions and send it back to me, and I could email it to the attendees that are asking those questions.
I'd be pleased to help you facilitate that for you, Derwin.
Okay. First question is, and I'm going to combine 2 different questions. Do you have enough cash to maintain your burn rate until profitability? And what are your plans? What are your needs for short-term and long-term funding?
Sure. You know what? That's that one question could take a while to answer, but I can say this: is that the cash position of Naturally Splendid at this point is fine. We can continue to operate. Will it sustain us through positive cash flow? That is a very difficult question to answer, and it's because of this. We are looking at a number of clients right now, and the international ones, we're talking container loads of product, multiple shipments per month. Should one of those POs or opportunities conclude positively, then yes, Naturally Splendid has enough cash to reach positive cash flow without additional financing. But those larger contracts do take time to close. And I don't think that it's probably unreasonable to think that we would entertain a financing, between here and the end of the year, early 2016 perhaps, in regards to a number of areas: acquisition, expanding our reach globally, investing in other lines. So in short, there are opportunities for POs that could turn it cash flow positive under the current cash reserves. Additionally, developing companies generally require additional investment capital, and I don't think Naturally Splendid is any different from most of those companies out there.
Next question: what is the timeline of the strategic work around Omega in the pet market?
Well, the pet app, the study for that, we actually are going to production of actually making the product. So the first step was actually to make sure we could get the hemp omega into the dog food through the processing processes. So it goes through heat and extrusions, and there's a number of steps, and you have to make sure that the liposomal structure remains intact through the entire process. We've reached a positive conclusion on the first step, so now we're able to create a bulk amount of food that would then be fed to dogs. It would be analyzed in a 2, 4, and 6 month period. So we are looking at a number of opportunities, either going on that study by ourselves or coming out of Las Vegas. There seemed to be no shortage of companies who would want to joint venture and develop that product line with us. So the timeline could be rapid if we go by ourselves. We may want to entertain a number of clients who would then position ourselves within their company as an ingredient in existing products. A deal like that may take slightly longer to put together, but the study in itself would be broken into 2 and 4 and 6 month sort of go and no-go periods.
I don't know if you can answer this next question, Craig, but what is your opinion of a fair value share price for Naturally Splendid?
Well, you know what, as you said, I get into forward-looking statements, I get myself in trouble. I think that our market cap that was at $50 million previously, I don't think that's overvalued. I think the science and technology that we've assembled within Naturally Splendid, I mean, we paid $1.7 million for it, but that science and technology took $20 million to develop. The POS Biosciences in the late 90s was about a $20 million facility to build. We can estimate that that might be $25, $30 million to build in today's value. Now, we own half of that. As our lines become more established, we need to also put a value on the ownership of Hemp Omega and the Omega technologies. So a fair share price, I think it's a great buy at this rate, you know, at where we are now. It came off hard with the markets on no negative news. So if we were a developing company with a market cap of $50 million, if we delivered on all the news releases that we said we would, including securing technologies and processing, I think that, you know, I obviously, Derwin, I can't put a number on it. It's crossing regulatory guidelines, but I think this is an excellent entry level for new shareholders and an excellent opportunity for existing shareholders to add to positions.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that concludes our Q&A. Again, we do have several questions that were not answered because of the time, but I will email those questions to Brent and Craig, and once they get a chance to answer their questions, they can send it back to me, and I can email it out to whoever asked the question. We want to thank Naturally Splendid for presenting every month. Our next presentation is Daniel Yazbek, founder of MyDX, who will be presenting in about 1 or 2 minutes. Thanks a lot, Craig. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you very much, Derwin. Look forward to next month's presentation as well. And we will get to those answers promptly, and we thank you, your listeners for giving me their time today.
Okay, thank you, Craig.